How's it going? Just me, good old Tom here. Sunday night, solo FFIB. So I know you guys just really come for Jason, so I'm hoping I get some people to watch. But it's just gonna be midnight, so no witty back and forth banter between me and Jason, unfortunately. Got it pinned. Wait a few minutes. I burned through these like really fast. I got 12 of them a couple days ago. And kids fucking love this stuff, and I love this stuff, and they're almost gone. So holla at me in the comments. I'm here to take your questions and just bullshit. Because I don't have a partner, so you guys need to feed me stuff, and I will spit something back. What up, Dominic? How's it going? Thank you for joining me from YouTube. And if you are watching this on Facebook, just know we have a YouTube channel. It's also broadcast on YouTube, and all of the lives are saved on YouTube under the live tab, not the videos, under the live. And there's like 168 videos on our YouTube account as of today. If you're watching on YouTube and you are not aware, you are tuned in to the Millie Club's YouTube account, which is actually a club on Facebook. So if you're on YouTube, go join the Facebook group Spyderco Millie PM2 Para 3 Club. It'll change your life. It's the best knife community in the world. And I actually feel confident in saying that. I don't say that in jest. I don't just say that like, oh, it's so cool, dude. You love it. It really is. It's amazing. It is unlike any other group of like-minded knife collectors I've ever run into. Let's see what's going on. Doing a lot of sharpening this week, like a lot. So I've been doing live streams of my sharpening between 1 and 4 times a day because it keeps me motivated to keep sharpening. I enjoy doing it because I'm a stay-at-home dad and I have little kids, and sometimes it's nice just to talk, and I get to talk to the internet. I get to talk to my screen while I sharpen, and I just get to spit shit out. And it's nice to be able to just talk about something that I'm passionate about, even if it's to myself. While I do that, I get to sharpen, which helps me get more business for future work, which is pretty cool. And I get to make content. It's just been working out really well doing these live sharpenings. It's getting me work. It's showing off stuff. It's teaching people. It's creating content. It's making me money. So yeah, I've really been enjoying doing the lives. If you haven't seen them, check out my lives. I stream every day. I take this camera and go zoop, and I turn it down at my desk, and I sharpen, and you watch. And it's very soothing because the sound of the stone is very nice. I like the sound of stones on steel. What else did we do this week? This week, there's my wife. This week, we put some new hardware on my favorite shaman. So these are Aramis scales made of purple dark matter, fat carbon. Man, those are cool looking on camera. But see those screws in the back? Those don't look like normal shaman screws because those are Rift's titanium screws that we did a hardware swap on. And what I have to say about these screws is they fit very snug in a very good way. Like you turn them and you think they're done. If it's a steel screw, like it's done. No, they're titanium, and you're like kind of putting pressure on them a little bit, but in a good way. They're very snug, so they're not going to back out. When you screw them all the way down, they are flush. They are perfectly tight. They don't bottom out. They are in and perfect. They're so well machined, and the tolerances are so tight. I'm kind of in shock. The only issue I've had with them, and it's an issue with any maker of hardware is they have a titanium stop pin, can cause lock stick. So I have titanium hardware in my pair 3. In this pair 3, we put Rip's titanium hardware on this week as well. And it's a pair of 3, so it has a stop pin. This is satin hardware, so we could get away with leaving it steel, but this isn't titanium. And this one's has amazing action. It drops shut. It feels nice. There's zero lock stick, like zero lock stick. I did the hardware swap on the Shaman with bronze hardware, and it was perfect for like a day. And then after a day, lock stick kind of started. And the reason that is because titanium stock pins, they just fucking do that. It's really annoying. So I was really happy when it didn't stick at first. I don't know how to adjust it to make it not stick at all. But so I replaced it with steel, and now it's money. The hardware itself, though, does nice things. It's so well made. When we put it on this pair of 3, this pair of 3 had black hardware on it that looked really cool, but the it kept on backing out. These scales would like rattle against the liners because they could back out, and the scales kind of would like bow out. So we put Rip's hardware in here, screwed it all the way down, including this titanium stop pin, and now this knife is so money. Like you just barely back the screws off, and it's like a nice hydraulic drop shut, zero blade play. These screws like solve the crappiness of this knife. So for once, titanium hardware solved the problem instead of creating it. So Rip stuff is legit. I definitely approve of it. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, what's poppin', Michael Price? Hello, Greg Wadsworth. Paul and Axel are joining us this evening, as well as MJ Harrington from YouTube. What else did I do this week? This one I just sharpened today. This was today's live session. And when I get these in, I make the most of this because I had a PM2 Tonto come in. So I have to make the most of it content-wise when these come in because I love the way their edges look when they're done up nice like this. And they get me a lot of work because everyone wants their Tonto done. So this came in, and I'm going to show it off because I spent a long time. Spent 45 minutes doing this on video, and I wasn't happy with it, and I went back and did it again. It's not perfect or anything, but it's really shiny and really sharp. Oh, what up, shenanigans? The CRK Tonto the other day was money. I did a CRK Umnumzon Tonto the other day, which is growing on me. And the Tonto tip, I did a normal bevel on it, just like a 20-degree bevel on Tonto tip. It looked very nice. It was mirrored. The owner was like, nah, I want that whole Tonto bevel flattened out and mirrored up. And he was happy with what I had, but you could tell he was like, I really kind of want it like really mirrored like the whole thing. So here's a video of it. So there's a CRK I did. Doing the primary bevel, I believe, was 20 degrees or 20 and a half or something. It was close to that. The Tonto tip, we ended up figuring out to make Tonto swedge on a CRK like that. It's kind of got a hump in it. It's kind of convex ground. So you have to find the angle where the tip and where the end of the bevel are connect kind of and take the hump out of that And to do that on this knife, it was 17 degrees and it lined up really nice. It took less work than expected to get that out. My stones kind of kick ass. It took that steel out real quick, but polishing it to get all the scratches out. It's not scratch free if you look at it in different lights, but scratch free mirrors are like chasing the dragon. You could, but you have to learn to live with some scratches on a micro level to some degree. And that one I spent forever on. It was not about the money on that one. That one's about I want to be able to use this in my portfolio for knives to show offs. That was probably the best edge I've ever done, looks wise. It's really polished. How hard was it on the stones mirroring the whole thing? You mean it's not that hard. My stones, the kind of stones you have matter. Like that's one thing I've been talking a lot about during my live sharpening videos is I'm not going to sugarcoat this anymore. I'm not going to just say, oh, cheaper stuff and the sharpening hobby is just as good. It just takes you longer to get there. No. So good stones give you good edges. Like you can get good edges with cheap stones. It takes longer, but they're never going to be quite the same as with expensive stones. So using CBN stones from Hapstone, they're $80 a piece, which is really expensive, and I have a full set of them. These are $80 a piece. Going through all of these up to 8,000. The edges of the tip are really hard to get the haze out, but between at 8,000 grit, it's really, really, really mirrored already. So when you take that off and then you go to the strops get out pretty much anything else visible. But yeah, good stones are. I fought it for so long. I didn't understand why people spend so much money on stones. I was using my KME stones on a TS Prof because I liked them. I still like KME diamond plates. That's what I learned on. So I'm really comfortable with sharpening with them. But these Hapstone premium CBN stones like changed the game for me in every way. They're so good. And CBN is cubic boron nitride. It's a hard particle. It's like diamond, except for it's got softer facets on it. So like when it cuts, it leaves a cleaner, less scratchy surface. Yet it still cuts really good, and it will cut through any steel. It will take Maxmet, whatever. But it leaves a better finish than diamond does. And so when you spend your time and go up to the grits, you make sure you get rid of all your scratches every time you go up a grit. When you get to 8,000, it's pretty damn shiny. What else you guys got? Some questions? Hit me up with something. I can't just ever. If you're on Instagram, I'm doing a giveaway with Brad and Blake and Sean Reese right now. We're giving away this Mannix lightweight from GP Knives in Rex 45 with a DLC blade that is brand new, except for I sharpened it because I needed something to demo on. So we're giving this away. Go check out my Instagram. It's Thomas O. Moore. You can just do all that, tag somebody or whatever. Enter to win it. But yeah, doing a giveaway. Check it out from GP Knives. They hooked us up. GP Knives is a new member to the group, and they're really excited about what we do. And he's been watching me on Instagram, and now he's in the group. And just thanks, it's neat. So I wanted to donate a knife for a giveaway. And I have another one we're going to do later, a satin one. I'll do it in the group, though. What else on my desk? Chamois cloth. We'll talk about this again. This is chamois cloth. I talk about it every single time I sharpen a knife. I use this. So this is a piece of clean chamois cloth. It's like light beige color. It's sheepskin leather. It's very a little stretchy, and very absorbent. So it's really good at wiping off blades to get oil off of it, to get fingerprints off your knives is great. So I have literally, I cut a 5 square piece up into like 10 of these things. I just have them of clean ones. So I was getting tired of using dirty. I was getting tired of using dirty ones. So I just cut about 10 of these. Buy a sheet of that. Do that. This is like the best thing for knife maintenance, for keeping your knives clean. It's better than any hank with microfiber backing. This is great for cleaning up stuff. They get dirty. This is the one I use to wipe off knives after I sharpen. This is pretty new. So all that is dust from metal shavings from sharpening from like just this week. But you can take this, I'm going to throw it in the washing machine, and it'll come out and it'll look like this. So these are nice to have. I find them in my pockets all the time. I carry them when I go to take pictures. They don't take up any space. You can make them as small as you want. Yeah, chamois cloth. Go buy some. I also use it in the jaws of my sharpener. I use chamois cloth, a small piece. It goes in my jaws of my sharpener to protect blades. And it works very well for protecting your blade and keeping it from moving around. And it's just a nice reassurance that nothing's going to get scratched up. What else, guys? I've been carrying this knife this week. I put a new edge on this knife. So this is probably my favorite knife. I've come to realize this is probably my favorite knife. This fluted carbon fiber native in S90V steel. This is not only the best knife I think that Spyderco's ever made. I think this is the best knife that mankind has ever made. This is the perfect cutting tool. So it was sharp, but I learned how to make things sharper, so I redid it again. And now, ooh, it's at a 400 grit edge, which sounds like, okay, whatever. But I stropped it at 3 micron on the machine on my Cadet with the kangaroo leather strop. And it just came out so crispy, sharp. It'll do little curly doodles. That's how I test if something's sharp, is if I can cut little curly cues. If I have to cut like a big chunk of paper to get to cut paper, then it's not as sharp or as aggressive as I like. I like to be able to do that. Get little curlies. Anyway, it's not groundbreaking or anything. It's just really sharp. So it was a good feeling. I got to take a knife that I loved, and I got to make it sharp, already sharper. And now it's more fun to sit around on my table and shred paper, which is what I do for about a couple hours a day. I go through a lot of printer paper, just sitting around shredding shit. It's very relaxing. Well, you should make a Tom's maintenance trip tips and tricks video, although I'm sure you have. It's a good idea. I like that. I should do that. I should just take all my maintenance shit and put it together in one video. I will do that tomorrow. That's a good idea. I'm trying to think of good content for YouTube videos that I upload, because these upload automatically, but they go to like a different category. I don't know how it counts, but it counts different. So yeah, I will. If you guys want to see anything, someone asked for a PM2 Tonto sharpening video yesterday, and so I got one in, and that was the first thing I thought of. Is like, oh, I'm gonna go make a Tonto video. What are fun knives around here? This is another knife I carry a lot lately. This is a Lynch Pair 3, the Maximate seconds blade on it. So these scales cost about twice as much as the blade that it's carrying, because it was the second. Really cool. The Lynch scales are, I'm going to say they're the best titanium scales, but they're top tier of titanium scales. They are, if I was going to name the best, they would be on that conversation for sure. The nice thing about them is they don't have a clip side liner, so it's one less steel part, which kind of changes the way the knife feels, because one side's just like more solid. There's no liner inside of something and connecting and pushing against. It's just a solid piece of titanium. For the pivot, there's a D-shaped pivot in the titanium to keep it from spinning. That's like kind of the important part about doing this, is you have to accommodate the pivot. Just a nice, cool knife. Get yourself a second, though. They're fun to customize. I know some people are like, maybe not so much anymore, but afraid to customize exclusives. Like, you're deflowering this poor knife. It's okay. If you feel that way, get a second, and then you don't have to feel bad about it. Tom the Mirror Man. I like doing mirrors. I'm not the best, though. There's people that are better than me for sure. Like Scott Parker and Martin Clogston. Their mirrors are very, very good as well. They're probably better than mine. I just am really good at filming them and making them look shiny on video and not and hiding scratches that way. Mine aren't perfect. They're just nice looking. Box opener of the week. This K390 Dragonfly. This is the kind of knife that, well, actually, this is a specific knife that everyone should have one of these, a K390 Dragonfly. Dragonflies are badass. They are the gateway Spyderco drug. It's not a Tenacious. It's not a Delica. This is the gateway drug that will for sure suck you in. Like, you get someone a cheap Chinese Spyderco, they'll be like, Spyderco kind of fucking sucks. This is a cheap Chinese knife. But if you give your wife, for example, a Dragonfly, just leave this shit on the counter. Leave it on the counter, and then an Amazon box come in front of her, open it up, use it with a perfectly sized blade for cutting open boxes without stabbing what's inside of it, controllably. Just show her how to close it with a back lock safely with two hands, and boom, you're done. Just leave it there, and it'll become your significant other's new favorite thing is Spyderco. This is the gateway drug to get you into everything. It's the perfect box opener. It's not intimidating. It's a perfect fifth pocket carry. It's what I used to carry when I'd carry expensive knives, so I'd have something to use. I just don't wear jeans anymore. The K390 is cool steel. I have two of these. One of them's lost somewhere in this house. That's okay. Get a Dragonfly. And K390 is the best one. I have at least four of these at least four more Dragonflies sitting in my kitchen in like the Valley tray bullshit. Dump yourself shit out cup. There's 4 Dragonflies sitting in there. That's where they end up, because they end up there from opening boxes. Yeah, dude. I kind of wish I had that. The K390 Dragonfly with the Warncliffe blade. It's hard to justify getting another one now that I have it, but I definitely considered it. That's a cool looking knife, and Warncliffes are handy for opening boxes. Victor Medina will deflower any knife. That is for sure. What else we got going on? Let me look at my desk. Tools. I did a video this week, a demonstration of doing a scale swap. It's on YouTube as well. It's a nice 30-minute video that takes you through the whole process, every step, all the little tips and tricks. One of the tips and tricks that I do in that video is I use these. These are called Knipex, Knipex, pliers wrench. These are the 125 millimeter size. It is tool number 8603125. These are very handy for doing scale swaps. People always fight me. People that are new into doing customization always like, I don't need to spend $50 on your stupid pliers. I can take apart my knife. And then they get to one where they fucking can't, because you can't always take apart a PM2. Sometimes standoffs will not fucking come out. So that's where these come in very handy, because these have nice smooth jaws. There's no knurling on them, and they go up and down parallel, which makes them really good for, because they're really thin, grabbing standoffs and holding them like this and cranking away both sides without them spinning. Sometimes you can use two T8 drivers, one on each side with both hands cranking away. You still have to have two T8s then. Or you can have these and make doing scale swaps super easy and stress-free without any pain in the ass part, stripping screws, without your standoff spinning. Get a Nipex plier wrench if you do customizing or working your knives at all. The other tool that is a must, and I will beat this to death. These are my Weehaw soft touch Torx drivers in T8, T6, and T10. This is the number one thing you need to work on a knife. And it's not just Weehaw drivers, because the Weehaw stubby drivers, they're fine. They're fine for traveling. But if you're sitting at your desk, you should not be working with a stubby handle driver with the bits in the back. You should be working with a real tool that's full size and easier to work on. It's easier to work on a knife with a long tip than with a little stubby thing. You're getting up close. It's also nice to be able to switch drivers by just doing this, instead of pulling those stupid little magnetic tips out that hurt your fingers, snapping one back in, then going back. It costs the same amount. It's like $5 more for these. So the Weehaw 36291 Torx driver set, my most recommended product in the world. I've recommended this thing so many times. I've had this set of drivers for like, I don't know, years. I've taken apart hundreds of knives with these drivers. They don't wear out. These ones are made in Germany. So sometimes people are like, oh, Weehaw is not made in Germany. It's made in Vietnam now. Some of their stuff is made in Vietnam. But this set specifically is made in Germany. So 36291. It's between $30 and $35. Buy it on Amazon. Is the cheapest place to buy it. I swear by that. If you have these Torx drivers and this Nipex pliers wrench, you'll have the best builds. You'll build your knives and you'll enjoy the process. It won't be frustrating. It won't be stressful like you're going to break something. You won't throw shit against the wall and it won't come out. Yeah, use good tools. Gotta have a warning. I do have some PM2 warnings. I'll say that. I have a fun one. This is my favorite knives. It's sentimental in some way. I won't sell it because Jeff Loffer gave it to me. It is Warrenclyffe PM2 number 69 with some, oh crap, why can't I remember the name of these scales right now? Chroma scales. They're 3D printed scales. And they're really well made. And they're really sturdy, actually, which I was very surprised about. Yeah, there's my warning. I use a stubby all the time. I prefer the smaller drivers than the longer ones. Well, if that works, that's just fine. It is nice to not have to switch tips, is one thing. That was why I did it at first, because they hurt my fingers pulling those little magnetic tips out. I have one. I have two of them in here. I have one sitting somewhere on my desk. If you do buy a stubby, this is really handy to have for to go. It's the Boker brand is the right one to get if you order one of these stubbies. It's Boker. It's a Weehaw driver, but it's Boker branded because it comes with the correct size Torx screws. If you get the Weehaw brand one, it's the same thing. They come with different size Torx drivers than you're going to need. So you have to buy like a T10 and put it in there. Chrome scales are really good with their 4. I've had a few sets. They when he first started making them, he messaged me and he said he was making 3D printed scales out of printed nylon. And I don't know. I was probably not as encouraging as I should have been. I thought they were going to be like noodles. Like they're 3D printed. I thought they were going to be floppy and loose and not have good action, but no, they're really sturdy actually. Yep, Boker one comes with the correct size you need. That's my to-go set. What else do I keep on my desk? I keep a tape measure on my desk. I keep a box cutter in case I need a box cutter. This is rad. So the Milwaukee ones, the Milwaukee utility knives are pretty popular because they have good action. But this Fiskars one is fucking money. This has got better action than a Koenig. Isn't that badass? It's nice and heavy. It's not too thick. It's got a pocket clip. It's just a razor blade. This was like $13 or $12. It's, I don't know. It's cool. It's got ergonomics. You can like choke up on it. Plus with a hold like this, I guess. Yeah, this Fiskars makes good stuff. And it's saying it's action or it's fun. I also like the Milwaukee fastback razor blades. I have those in the garage. But it's fun having these stupid little utility knives. You can flip around, like you get your fidget out of it. I just bought these because I saw one on Tony Kim's vest on an Instagram post. Sharpie Pros. So these are meant for writing on stuff outside or concrete or cardboard or wet stuff. These stink. Well, they're strong smelling compared to Sharpies. So I'm excited to try these out. I haven't had anything to write on yet because it's been crappy out, but I bought these for doing the tips of my knives, and I don't think I need these for the tips of my knives because they're really strong. So then I just bought a box of regular Sharpies. I don't need Sharpie not coming off a blade. That's fine. It is better than Milwaukee. I have the Milwaukee one. Milwaukee one's kind of janky. It's thick as shit. If you get the one that has the extra blades on it, there's a couple different versions of the Milwaukee one, but Fiskars ones feels nicer. Fiskars makes good stuff. I like Fiskars as a brand. They make very good scissors. I'm a scissor snob. These are one of their better scissors. They're really good though. I use them every day to cut out labels because I'm too lazy to get a thermal label printer. What else we got on my desk? Here's my newest toy. Here's the Hapstone RS I've been using for, I don't know, about a third, maybe a half of my sharpening demonstration videos. I've come to really like this. I'm highly suggesting it to everyone now. Since I do this in quantity professionally, I use my TS Prof Cadet and probably will continue to do that because it's a little bit faster the way I can work. But if you're looking for an upgrade from a KME and don't want to dump $400 into a Cadet, this is a $200 sharpener. That's basically the same thing as the TS Prof Cadet. You can do any kind of knife on this. It'll do big knives, small knives. The jaws work really well that come with it. You don't need to buy extra jaws. All you need to do is buy stones. So what I am dubbing the Tom Moore special sharpener recommendation for the entry into the high-end sharpener market is to buy the Hapstone RS, not the black version, just the regular version. The black version comes with extra clamps. Buy it if you need extra clamps, but I don't think you need extra clamps unless you're doing a ton of really big knives. And then buying the Hapstone Premium CBN 150 and 400, just 2 stones. and then learn how to sharpen and get a sharp ass edge on those 2 stones. You don't need to buy higher than that, and you don't need to buy lower than that to get started. So with 150, you can profile anything. The 400, you can do a beautiful satin edge that will cut so good. That's what you learn on. And then when you're ready and have more money, you buy the rest of the stones in the set instead of buying a cheap set and then upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. I'm just recommending people buy this sharpener and 2 stones to start out with if they want to start on a nice system. But yeah, really cool sharpener. I got used to some of the awkwardness of the way that this stone holder works with the rod that comes through the handle. You just have to hold it a certain way, kind of. At the whole tips of your fingers, and it's not an issue. So yeah, Hapstone RS, $200 sharpener, kicks ass. I've been using it quite a bit. It's kind of fun. It's hard to explain, but just the way you have to hold the handle, it makes it kind of enjoyable and relaxing. Oh, I never thought about sharpening scissors. I can do that. I don't know how to do that, but they have attachments for it somewhere. I can mirror edge my gold bladed Fiskars. That'd be kind of badass. I like scissors. In my wedding vows, the guy who married me and my wife, this was 11 years ago now. His name is Danny Palinuk. Danny Palinuk was my mentor when I was 22 through like my 20s. He worked at Turner Construction with me, and he's the person that got me into knives. He has a lot of Kershaws and stuff like that. Really into sharpening. He's the person that got me started sharpening. But he officiated my wedding, and he is a goofball dude. But in his vows, he started talking about how much I like knives. And then he's like, and Tom likes knives. And you take 2 knives together, they become a scissors. They become more effective. And he's a goofball. I don't remember everything about it, but yeah, knives and scissors were in my wedding vows because of Danny. Because he got me into knives. You see the one with the magazine? I don't know what that means. Probably the magazine full of razor blades. One of my favorite knives that I've had for a long time, and I've just been using a lot. I busted out the K390 Dragonfly this week because I couldn't find this. But this is an old Native 5. See, it has full steel liners. This is such a good feeling knife in the hand. It's heavy. It's dense. So I love Native ergonomics. And normally lighter is better and whatever. But this feels good. So find yourself an old Native with full steel liners. It's like pre-2018. They were like this. They just feel nice. The S110V, the S30V, and the 154 S90V Sprint Run have liners like this. If I had to choose between the two, I choose a PM2 Warney or a Canis. I love my Canis. Your Canis is the first one I've ever handled. It's really cool. I like it a lot. It's very well made. Let me bust that out. Show it off. So I don't know enough about the Canis yet since I just started playing with it. But I was pleasantly surprised with how good the action was with the compression lock and all that jazz. So Lachezi sent me some knives. This is one of his knives. We put a 8,000 grit mirror on his Canis. The Canis is a Tai Chung model. That's Not very common that I am aware, because I didn't know what it was off the top of my head. Got a cool blade with a couple different facets and grinds. It's got Taichung style CF scales. It's got really good ergonomics, good thumb placement. It's a compression lock, and it's from Taichung, so it's got a really good compression lock. Now that I'm imagining he hasn't even touched the screws on this. I'm sure they're factory screw placement. So yeah, Canis is cool. That's a good question. This is probably a better knife. What steel is this? Is it S3V? Yeah, it's the same steel as the Warncliffe. Pretty cool. Way. There's my son running around. Tomorrow's a vacation day again, I guess. Is he staying home with me again? If you sharpen, make sure you have an angle cube. Not that you need to you don't need an angle cube to sharpen, but it's very good for having a reference point. So like I know the Spydercos are supposed to be 17 degrees. That is what all Spydercos in the factory are supposed to be, at 17 degrees. Yes, I know that usually there aren't. But if you take a Taichung one, like that Canis we did, it was exactly 17 degrees both sides, because Taichung is way more precise than Golden on their details like that. So it's nice to be able to just set an angle cube on your sharpener, go 17, and go. It's also nice if you sharpen to whatever angle, just knowing what angle you sharpened to, you can resharpen it really fast instead of trying to find it again and fucking around and rubbing your stone on the bevel to try to find the right angle. Get an angle cube. So they're magnetic. This one's from Gritomatic. They're like $15. I didn't use one for a long time. And that's why I'm saying this, because I didn't think it was necessary. Because I'm like, I'll just sharpen to the existing angle and I'll just find a Sharpie. Well, that's fine. But then I went through all my knives and they were all sorts of different angles. All my Spydercos would be like 15 to 19 or whatever angle I chose from the existing shit. It drove me nuts. So I went through all of them. I set them at 17. So probably all or close to all of my Spydercos, I can throw my sharpener, set at 17 degrees, and sharpen without doing anything, and it will get sharp. It's not factory fresh. I've disassembled and tuned it. It's pretty good. I'll give you that. I would believe you. The Taichung can make a good knife. Help me decide what color route to go on my Crucarda PM2. Want to get AWT scales. What color scale and hardware would you build it in? So I have quite a few sets of AWT hardware. We can look at them. There's one. There's one. I don't have that many like cool colors of AWT stuff, like all the flashy shit they have. I have a bunch of Cerakoted kind of plain colors. But what I do like, I actually like, this is just like plain titanium. It just, I don't know. This is the Cerakoted finish. I do like the Cerakoted finish. I have another one. This is my favorite color so far. It's blue titanium. It's Cerakote. I have that on here and on my pair 3. I am unaware of what the names are of these other colors. This one's like green. This one is a darker green. This one's just gray. And this one is different. This one is a skinny PM2. So this one is Midnight Blue or something. This is a finish they only do for this one, and it's shiny and really slick. So I don't know what this finish is compared to the other ones, but it feels totally different. It's almost hard to hold on to. I like blue titanium though. It's my favorite color I've seen in person. But he makes a lot of really bright, flashy colors too. I haven't tried. Wow, I have a lot more of these than I thought. Kind of forgot I own this AWT native. These are cool though. Take a lightweight and turn it into a legit knife. Hardware. I would get, if you want titanium hardware, I would get Rips hardware. Rips Garage Tech hardware. It's like $60, I think. It's titanium. They come in bronze or satin. The bronze looks really nice. It's very deep bronze. It's really cool. So I would probably do the blue titanium with Rips Garage Tech. Let me look it up real quick. Bronze hardware. Spyderco. Okay. Steve is a madman. Steve basically messages me, Steve Rippler, messages me and Jason daily and is always asking like what can I make? Like what's the market need? So last thing he's like, oh, gotta have little native hardware. Boom, little native hardware. Gotta have Sage 5 titanium scales. Boom. Then he poops them out. Oop. But let's find the PM2 hardware. He just makes so many things. Sometimes it's hard to find stuff on his website. Let's go if he has hardware, knife hardware. Spyderco, PM2. Oh, he drastically cut his prices down. He said he was going to cut the prices down, but he must have figured it out. There you go. Buy these and anodized. You can anodize them in any color you want. You can make them green for $5 extra. He just cut his price on these. They were like $60 the other day, and they said he figured out how to use his machine better. It can make them faster. So there you go. There's a hardware you want. It will make your knife feel money. It'll fit really well. Comes with clip screws that are right there. All of the screws are T8s. So like there's the pivot screw. It's a T8. So is the body screw. So is the beefy clip screw. The clip screw has a really cool profile. It's like square instead of like dome headed. It looks nice. The machining lines look nice. It's just really good hardware. So yeah, there's your answer. And now I have no idea what you actually want, but it's a good start. Just looking around my desk for stuff. Looking for a good cleaner instead of EDCI, that garbage product. It works fine. EDCI has been around for a couple of years. It's a popular cleaner for knives. But if you want to like support somebody who's awesome, Scott Gunn, and have a way better product, get some Gunny Glow. I will talk to Scott. Scott does have a problem with his products is they don't say what they do on them. So it's kind of hard to like identify it. But this is an all-purpose cleaner. It doesn't smell like anything. It's what I spray on knives to clean off tape residue, and then you just rub it with a magic eraser or whatever. But this is a great cleaner. I'm almost out of it. Jason bought a $50 bucket of it from Scott because he uses it so much to clean everything. He uses it to clean carpets. Let's see. Always keep this on your desk or handy when you're doing knife stuff. This is a magic eraser. I use it every single time I do a knife. This is how you get Sharpie. So when you put Sharpie on the edge and you're sharpening, yeah, you usually get a little bit above it or you miss it or whatever. You get it on a knife blade. This is how you get it off without cutting your fingers off, is a Sharpie. Or magic eraser, get Sharpie off. And you do that because it'll be on the edge like here, is going off the edge, like stroking down. Do not go up the edge, try to get Sharpie off. You'll slice this thing into pieces and you'll cut your finger. So downward strokes, get your Sharpie off your edge with magic eraser. They're handy. Look how dirty this thing is. I clean my stones with it. I clean knives with it. I clean. My daughter drew all over the walls. I went and cleaned all that shit off with one of these. They're fantastic. Oh, what's up, Blocky? Having fun. Thank you for joining me. Oop. Magic eraser is literal magic. It really is. Especially if you have a DLC blade. You want your DLC blade to look like brand new. You know how a brand new DLC blade looks really matte black and there's no oily fingerprints on it. It doesn't look chalky. It looks like black. Use one of these and a drop of oil. Rub the oil all over the blade. Wipe it, then scrub around like this. It'll pull all the shit out of the DLC. This will clean it off. And then you take a chamois cloth again and you wipe the oil off the blade and it will look like brand new. Brand new. It's legit. And if you have a scratch on your DLC, use a rust eraser to get the scratch out. And then you do the magic eraser to make it all black again. What else? Here's my little cup of hardware, or my tool cup. It's got little kitties on it, which is, I think, funny, but also I fucking love cats. Cats are awesome. I've had cats my entire life. I love them. I have one cat now. I had 3 not that long ago. 2 of them died fairly recently, which is obviously very sad, but my favorite one is still alive. She just turned 14 and she is literal magic. She's like, her name's Felicity. She's very nice. She sleeps in my bed all day long. She sleeps with us every night. She's just a very nice, sweet old kitty cat. Where do you order gunny products from? Rec has them, and Gritomatic has them. I need to talk to Scott about this because I'm supposed to know this. I think you can get some of the stuff on Amazon, but check Rec first and then Gritomatic. I know for sure they have them. Those are just screws, not the lanyard tube and standoffs. I think that costs more. Don't get titanium standoffs. I'll just say that. You don't need them unless you need that unless you're going for color and need that same color to be right there at the little tiny bit. Use steel standoffs, because if you use a titanium stop pin, there's a good chance, not guaranteed, but there's a good chance you'll have a lock stick. So I use steel standoffs whenever I can. Lanyard tube. Steve makes lanyard tubes as well. They're very good quality. They're on his website. Don't get titanium hardware. Don't use titanium hardware. Who else? Blaze We Love has good hardware. XXX, Adrenaline XXX from Australia has good hardware, but you have to order it and get it shipped from Australia, and it's not simple process. Rips has just really impressed me with everything that he's put out. I did 2 builds with his hardware, and they both turned out better than they were before. His screws are so well machined. But I would definitely check that out. But for that price, you're not going to get much cheaper hardware than he's doing. He's making these in the U.S., literally just making them himself. Knife hardware. Where's the lanyard tube? You can get front and rear standoffs for $15, and then a lanyard tube I don't see, but I know he has them somewhere. Yeah, you can go all titanium if you're going for that look, but I always try to do steel stop pin just in case. Purchase mine from Rec. There you go. Oh, thank God. Now we can start again. Victor's back. I got lucky with my TI stop pin on my MS Regrind PM2, 0 lock stick. That was my concern. Rips garage take his money. Yeah, I am very lucky on this pair of 3. There's 0 lock stick. It's got titanium stop pin. It's perfect. That's not always the case, though. The Shaman I had stick. What else? Let me check my Instagram account. Let's check out what's going on over here. So here's my Instagram account. That's me at the top, Thomas O'More. You can give me a follow if you want. This is where I put all the content you see in the group also gets posted here, usually first here. Here's all my videos of doing edges. Oh, here's something fun. Sean Reese. Sean Reese just broke 5,000 followers today. So I put up a post and he got a bunch of followers and he's excited. Sean's an awesome dude. So give Sean Reese EDC a follow. He's very involved. He's one of the people that cares most about this group that I know. He's a very good moderator. Just a cool dude. Giveaway. I think I already talked about this, but here's my giveaway. It's on my page. It's with me, Brad, Sean, and Blake. We're going to draw our winner tomorrow for that white Mannix. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, Josh Haygood. So give Josh Haygood a follow. Knife Problems. He has a 1-wheel and he has a sword. So you got to give Knife Problems a follow because Josh posts ridiculous shit like this all the time. This is not my video, but I stole it because it's too funny and it got a lot of views. It's so stupid. Yeah. There's a YouTube account. We've grown a couple hundred, or about 150 in the last 2 weeks. It was fun growing that. Something new, a new adventure, a new platform to grow. I kind of neglected YouTube for the last couple of years. Greetings, Facebook user. Thank you for joining us. Missed you too, Vic. That's all I got. That's all I got. Let's go to YouTube real quick. Where's my channel? Oh, weird. There's us streaming live on YouTube right now. We're like inceptioning it because I can see the video, but it's not playing. Anyway, here's videos. If you go here to live, this is where everything that I do in the group gets loaded to automatically. So let's see how many times I've been sharpening. These are all sharpening, hardware sharpening. All these videos are just live sharpening since last week. Sharpening, FFIB, sharpening. So yeah, there's a lot of that if you want to watch me sharpen. Some people do. There's weirdos, and they're probably watching now. There's some of these weirdos in the comment section over there, that comment section. Oh, you guys are looking at down there. That comment section that watch me all the time. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel really important. But so maybe you'll enjoy it too. So there's some people that really get some enjoyment out of it. makes me keep on doing it. Knowing that people return visitors keeps me going. Okay, we just did it. We hit an hour. That's my goal. So if you're ever watching these and it starts to, like, with me and Jason, and it starts to like drag on, it's because we're like secretly looking at a clock that's right there on our screen. There's a clock that says live, and well, as soon as it hits 1 hour, we usually like, okay, now it's like extra credit. That's like our goal, is to hit an hour, and then we kind of just see how long it goes after that. Yeah, see, here's one of the weirdos. Thank you. I appreciate it, Michael. Okay, well, that's about it. We hit an hour. I'm excited. I'll probably be back on here sharpening in a little bit. So if you want to talk to me again later, I will be back. Anyway, this Thomas Moore. Tom Moore. I always forget that my name's Tom Moore on Facebook, because for a long time I went by Thomas, and now I don't remember who calls me what, and like I don't care what you call me, Tom or Thomas. I respond to it, but I forget sometimes. Anyway, I'm Tom Moore, Thomas O. Moore on Instagram. Subscribe to the Millie Club on YouTube, and we miss Jason, obviously. He will be back next week with another exciting installment of Finger Flicked in a Box, FFIB. Peace out.